What the heck is the Mercury retrograde? That's what we're going to talk about. Astrology is the study of planetary movement and celestial bodies and how the energy created by that movement might impact human affairs and the natural world. For me personally, astrology in my nature-based spirituality practice has just become another tool to navigate this lifetime. Looking at retrograde specifically, though, when planets orbit in a way that it looks like they are moving backwards, not actually moving backwards, but from Earth in their planetary position as they orbit, it just looks like it's moving backwards. That's what we call a retrograde. And the energies are different that's created than when that planet is in a forward movement. Mercury goes retrograde about 3 to 4 times a year, each lasting for about 3 weeks. So that's about 20% of our year. Generally, astrologers look at Mercury the most in retrogrades because it has the most noticeable impact on human life. However, right now, here in November, we also have Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune in retrograde. And if you watch my moon magic videos, a full moon in Taurus and a new moon in Scorpio, which makes for some seriously interesting energy here in November. Actually, on Friday, I'll publish an overview of the new moon coming up next week. But the intensity we're feeling here in November is all over the astrology. So if you're feeling it and it feels a little edgy, hang in there, rest when you need to. But here's what's going on in a nutshell. Starting with Mercury's retrograde, which falls on November 9th through about the 29th of November. This retrograde is a little dreaded, I should say, by many, because when Mercury is in retrograde, we often see communication issues come up in emails and texts and conversations. So maybe watch for that and just keep your cool. This morning, my kiddo was in tears because we just kept misunderstanding each other as she was trying to explain something to me. And I giggle, but really, I felt so bad for her. She tried to explain the same thing over and over to me, and I just wasn't grasping it. That's Mercury. Tech issues are common, so make sure you back up your important stuff. Travel cancellations and delays are common. Have you watched the news recently? Coincidence? Maybe? This is also not a good time to make important decisions or sign contracts. Just spend the time reflecting and renewing existing plans instead. Write it down and come back when we're past this energy. It's also quite common for things from the past to revisit. So relationships, patterns we used to have, nostalgia is common. So it's generally advised to just lay low, hang with your journal, and spend some time reflecting on whatever might come up. And then use that information to move yourself forward again after the retrograde season. You can do it. It's only 3 weeks. So just spend the time reflecting and then moving forward. So just taking a peek at the other planets, also in retrograde. Saturn is sort of the planetary workhorse, if you will, which asks for discipline, responsibility, and hard work. And in a retrograde, it will ask you to revisit steps for like responsibilities that maybe was skipped or that you procrastinated on. So go back, fix those things, and get it done and complete it. Get it off your list. Uranus brings internal focus really more within ourselves, and it births sudden changes. So in a retrograde, it may be a sudden change in the way we think about life, in our worldview, and really that's why we don't want to make impulsive decisions during this time, and keep the important decisions for when we can be more level-headed. And lastly, I want to look at Neptune. It's the planet of spirituality and intuition. And in a retrograde, it likes to bring up wake-up calls or spiritual growth and reevaluations. So we can find more, and it comes to us so that we can find more balance. So again, just write it down, but don't make any rash decisions, as the kids would say. What is good about a Mercury retrograde, right? These events show up for us to make us better and to move us forward and teach us our lessons in this lifetime. Well, it's a time to intentionally slow down, reflect, reconnect with old ideas, resolve misunderstandings, and fine-tune how we communicate. So rather than stress out about a retrograde, just use the energy to create the experiences that you want. I hope you enjoy deep self-care for the rest of November. Just stay frosty, like Jimmy from Tarot Ship says. I've linked their content in the link tree down in the bio. But yeah, take care of yourself, and we'll see you soon.